There we go. We are live. Hello, morphemes, phonemes, and graphemes. Is the audio working? Yes. My voice is being heard, and not my music. Okay, conlangs. JSOP. Planning grammar doc. There we go. So, where we left off last Thursday, we were going over evidentials in JSOP. And we decided on 4 evidentials. The base form used in most circumstances and generally in writing, which implies a degree of uncertainty. That's uncertainty. Also a visual. So if you've seen the action happen or you see the action happening, you use the visual evidential. Hearsay quotative, used when you've just heard it, which is also used in indirect quotes. And inferential is basically other evidence that's not visual, not hearsay, that makes you think you've made a claim. And this information is required in the language. So you can't just... So it's kind of like tense in English, where if you're talking about the past tense, something happened in the past, you have to use the past tense. In JSOP, you have to say, use one of the evidentials for the base or uncertainty, visual, hearsay, quotative, and inferential. So where did Keith come from again? Here, loi is to believe. Yeah. So that's the evidential system, as well as indirect and direct quotes. And then alongside that is TAM. Which, let's get rid of prospective and do retrospective, which retrospective is usually found with languages with a past tense, which JSOP will be having a non-future future distinction, but either way. Okay, let's use the bread is baking again. And I think the bread is baking. I think I'm going to have an active stative split here in at least the marking. So non-future, future. I should move that over here. Merge that active versus stative, non-future, future. So non-future, obviously unmarked, just non shay bread is baking. Ooh, I need to choose a stative verb. I could let's see. I have morphology for creating a stative from a non-stative, but how would that work in... because it's adding a k to the end of the sentence. Thank you, Ponko. That is a burst of confidence in my abilities. But, so for the stative suffix, it's a k to the end. But if that's after vowels, what if nunca to that doesn't really make much sense, does it? To be made. Not, yeah, no, to be made. And let me just give that a... actually, no, that's a... I'll come back to that later. For now, nung ka. Nope, not a noun. That's a stative verb. The bread is baked. Move these back here. Nunca she. I mean, fair enough. I've gotten quite used to Google spreadsheets. I use it for a lot of my language stuff. But if you want to see insane with spreadsheets, look up the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet competition. That is absolute insanity. Like, I have no idea how people do stuff like that. Let's see. Nung she. Let's make this. I could derive a word for the future tense, future marking. I think just having a so for active verbs, it's just a random ta. There's no let's give that a particle, actually. Let's give that a tone. Ta nung. I'll just leave it with a high tone. So future in the active is marked with ta right before the verb, does not have any other meanings, does not derive from anything else. But for stative verbs, I think I'll derive. Do I have a word for yes? Yongnung. Yongnung she. Oh, that needs a cut. So for stative verbs, the bread will be baked. Yong or have is used before the main verb. That seems good. So that's the non-future future distinction. Ooh, I think we can start wrapping aspect up into this. Actually, no, I'm not going to use Yong for future. Okay, let me save ta. Let me non-future. What would the base form be? Because we have perfective, habitual, continuative, retrospective. I mean, imperfective would be continuative. So non-future continuative. Non-future habitual. Non-future perfective. And then retrospective. Future. Okay. So the continuative, habitual, and perfective now the continual and habitual will have future, non-future differences, but the perfective and retrospective will only have non-future distinctions. And then for for the stative, active, dative. So this will have just non-future, future, and can you really have a perfective or retrospective stative? That feels weird to me. Actually, a distinction I can make is non-future ongoing no longer ongoing. And then just apply that to future as well. So ongoing could be a form of the retrospective in the stative, in that it was that the stative thing. Okay, let me use examples for this. So to be read is stative, and then in the non-future not ongoing, to car is read, and then the car was read. So in this example, car is read, it was read, and it still is read. In this example, the car was read, we knew it was read, but it might not be read anymore. So that's kind of the distinction going on here. Well, there's also a degree of uncertainty about if the car is still read or not. So let's see, just non-future ongoing. This is a hint of uncertainty. Yeah, let's do that. So using our things from earlier, non chez bread is baking. Tanungshe, future habitual, perfective. Let's take have. That should not be capitalized. Or retrospective would use have. And then do we have a word for to be? No, we do not have a word for to be. I am honestly a bit shocked about that. That's like the most basic verb one can have. Unless you're in a be drop language, but you know. Let's see. Tok. Let's make 2b Tok. Deuk. Deuk. Oh, that's supposed to be a Deuk. Or Deuk. Yeah, Deuk. 2b. Stative verb. Not really. Copula. Deuk nung she. So perfective comes from the copula plus nung she. Retrospective. Okay, so there's that. Nung ka she. Yung ka nung she. Wait, no, not yung ka. Yung nung ka. And this is where I get stalled. So I need to think of a non-future habitual, future habitual, state of future, and a state of future ongoing. Though I feel like future ongoing can go. Leaving us just non-future habitual, future habitual, and state of future. Nunca she. Yung nunca she. Nung she. Ta nung she. Deuk nung she. Okay, now trying to think about common origins of habitual markers in language. Duality. Oh, habitual aspect. Okay. Is marked by the habitual participle. Habitual participle is constructed. Okay, that doesn't help me all that much. Well, that didn't help at all. An ongoing action in the present and the past. Repeated action in the present and the past. And An action that will take place. Perfective. God, trying to think about the perfective always hurts my head. A completed action. Action taken as a whole. Retrospective, an action in the past with present relevance. Retros. Okay, so future ta nung ka she an ongoing state of the subject. State the subject is in. The state the subject is in. The state the subject was in but is no longer in. Not ongoing. So the state the subject was in but is no longer in. The state the subject will be in. Oh god, this is... Aspects are hard to think about. The state the subject was in with present relevance. Okay. Still don't have a marker for the non-future habitual, or just the continuative habitual. Non-future perfective, or because it's a stative, it could be perfective and then the non-future implies, yes, perfective non-future wait, non-future perfective Let's shift these around so that it's more organized. Was in, but is no longer in. The state the subject is in. And that should be 영농가 쉐. Okay, this... People are probably so lost at the moment with what the hell I've been doing. I'll explain it in a second. G. I could make Li an adverb habituality marker. Li nong she. Okay, I will explain. How much do you know about aspect and tense in linguistics in general? Do you have a good understanding of it, or are you new to the discipline, or I've never heard those terms before in your life? Indicative, imperative, optative. I think the moods can just be, you know, a decent amount. Okay. So I'm assuming you know what the difference between the continuative, habitual, future, perfective, retrospective is. Retrospective in many instances is also called the perfect. I just prefer the term retrospective as it's a lot more intuitive and differentiates it from the perfective. So what's... okay. Yeah, so basically what's going on here is I'm just figuring out how the aspects and tense interact. And so what I've apparently done here is make it so that the future is just an aspect. So for active verbs that have a process behind them, they can be split into the continuative, which is just the base form. It's also kind of the gnomic to an extent, I guess. Habitual, future, perfective, retrospective, etc. Where things get weirder in the state of verbs, where the perfective is kind of seen as the default. The verb or the object is in this state. And the non-future has evolved a meaning of it was in the state, but it no longer is. Kind of a more past tense meaning to it actually than anything else. And obviously the future, it will be in that state. In retrospective, it was in that state, but it was in that state with present relevance. You will bake the bread? Bake the bread, imperative, optative. Thank you. It has caused me so much headache. Want, wish to bake the bread. So I think for this, I think modality will be simple particles thrown in at the end of the sentence. We could just steal from certain Chinese languages. She wa ya she ya. Bake the bread. And order or kind of like let's make the bread. And then want, wish. Nungsheo. This is wants to or wishes to, can be used as a polite request. Yeah, I think that actually looks pretty solid as a base for us to use for the verbal system. Though this still feels weird to me because this is reading more as a past tense, past, present, future tense than anything else. How exactly do I want to modify that? I'll leave it as is. So then obviously got to bring this over here. Verbology. JSOP verbs are split into active and stative distinctions. Active or telic process and stative, wait, no, that's Aktionsat. So yeah, no, was basically all of these versus these. All of these versus this. So I could make it telic and atelic slash dative. I will just move semifactive up into a telic-like state. So do active and stative distinctions. Active verbs can take one of 5 aspects slash, God, I cannot speak, slash tenses. Those are continuative, habitual, right, that should be a colon, habitual, future, perfective, and retrospective. Stative verbs, on the other hand, take one of 4 aspects slash tenses. Non-future, future, perfective, retrospective. Okay. Let me make a mini heading for aspect tense. And then another mini heading for active versus stative. In the for active verbs, I should say, for active verbs, the bare form is used to mark an ongoing action. For active verbs, the bare form is used to mark an ongoing action, which, as we have established, baking is an ongoing action. 3. Nung. Oh. 1, 2, 3. She. Make bread is baking. It's used for an ongoing action. There's something else I wanted to say, because there's the distinction between the man eats and the man is eating. I mean, in English, though, eats is kind of habitual. So I guess I can just leave it there. It's used to mark the continuative or an and then ta is used to mark habituality or actions that occur repeatedly. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is the tab different there? Oh, it's because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make bread. Bread is baked every day, every night, in the morning. Just, it's bread is baked. Wait, no, ta wasn't used for that. That was li. Ta is used to mark the future or an action/event that will take place. Bread will be baked. Perfective is marked with duke. The copula duke is used before the verb to mark the perfective aspect. Actions that are complete, done, not ongoing. Okay. B, make bread. The bread was baked. Still doesn't, that translation doesn't feel right, but that is closest we have to the perfective in English. And then finally, retrospective is used for an event in the past that still has relevant, what's the word? Present relevance. Which it is marked with the verb jong. Oh, that should not be capitalized. One, two, three, four. Have, make bread. Okay. So now it is ready to be eaten. You know what? We're coming up to the end of the hour. So I will finish adding all of this later. And then continue this language on a future stream. Next Tuesday when I stream, I won't be doing Moj Soap. I'll be doing the Minecraft villager language, her. But until then, as it is coming up to the end of the hour, I have stuff to do. I will bid you all adieu.